My art matters to me too much. Not just I care about my work, that's normal. I mean too much, in the way where a bad sketch can ruin my afternoon, where silence after I post something can make me question if I should keep doing this at all, where a number, a stupid number like views, likes, whatever, can decide how I feel about myself for the rest of the day. And I don't think I'm the only one. I think too many of us, especially makers, especially the ones who pour real hours into real things, we start to identify with what we do. Not just love it, become it. And that's a much more dangerous place to stand. Here's what that looks like from the inside. You make something, you post it, and then you wait. If the feedback comes, great, relief, you can breathe for a few hours. If it doesn't, and most days it doesn't, something in you starts to shrink. Not because the painting got worse. The painting is the exact same painting it was 5 minutes ago, but you feel smaller. The internet can feel like talking into an empty room. No comments, no shares, a view count that barely moves, and instead of learning how any of it actually works, the algorithm, the timing, the sheer number of things competing for someone's attention, we take it personally. We build a story, maybe the algorithm is against us, maybe people don't want me to succeed, maybe I'm just not good enough, and everyone's too polite to say it. Your brain will hand you a reason. It always does. It's rarely the true one. And somewhere in all of that, I think we lose the actual thing that got us here. What happened to enjoying the process, to making something for the sake of making it, because you need to see it exist, not because you need someone else to react to it. I remember why I picked up a brush the first time. It had nothing to do with an audience. It had nothing to do with a number. It was just, I saw something in my head and I needed it to exist outside my head too. That was the whole reason. Somewhere between then and now, a second reason snuck in. Was it good enough? Would people like it? Should I even post this one? I've been trying to build a place where that second reason doesn't get to run the show. Where I can talk about the actual process, the doubts, the 800 plus paintings behind me without performing for a feed. I write about it honestly in my studio letter. If any of this is landing for you, it might be a good place to land to. Links below, no pressure, just an honest conversation instead of a highlight reel. Because that's the other trap, isn't it? Everything online has to fit a highlight reel. Nobody posts the bad sketch, nobody posts the day they stared at a canvas and hated everything they made, nobody posts the disappointment, the painting that just didn't come together, the version that should have worked and didn't. We curate the 10% and call it the whole story. I'm going to tell you something I don't usually say out loud. Most of my sketch, I think, are shit. Not most in a humble brag way. Genuinely, I look at the majority of what I put down on paper and I think that one didn't work, that one's flat, that one's just ugly. There's maybe a tenth of what I make that I actually think is fantastic. And that's the reality for every artist, athlete, you name it. 1 in 10, and somehow that 1 in 10 is what makes the other 9 worth it. That's the actual ratio behind the highlight reel. Nobody shows you the 9. I usually show 90% of what I do. And here's the part that actually scares me a little to admit. I've made more than 800 paintings. 17 years of doing this almost every day. You think at some point the doubt would quiet down. That 800 paintings in, I'd trust myself, I'd look at a new sketch and just know. Instead, I've started questioning every single one. Every little sketch gets put on trial before it's even finished. Is this good? Is this the wrong direction? Should I even bother? 800 paintings in and I still interrogate the 200th stroke of the day like it's my first one. That's not humility, if I'm honest, that's fear wearing humility's clothes. Fear that if this one isn't good, maybe I'm not good either. So here's what I'm trying to relearn. Not fix, relearn, because I knew it once and I let it slip. The work is not me. The work is something I make. It can be bad, it can be brilliant, it can be somewhere forgettable in between. And none of that is a verdict on whether I get to keep making things. It's just information about that one piece on that one day. That separation between what I make and who I am is the whole thing. It's the difference between a bad sketch ruining your afternoon and a bad sketch just being Tuesday's bad sketch, filed away, forgotten by Wednesday. I'm not there yet, not fully, but I notice it now. That's already different from a year ago when I didn't even notice. I just felt bad and call it a bad day. And maybe that 1 in 10 ratio isn't actually the problem. Maybe it's just the cost of doing this honestly. You don't get a fantastic painting without wading through the 9 that taught you something you needed to know first. The 9 aren't failures, they're tuition. I paid for the good ones with the bad ones. If I only made the paintings I was sure would land, I'd have stopped making anything true a long time ago. The whole reason the good ones are good is that I let myself make anything I want. That is the exact thing I don't know how to say in a caption, it doesn't fit a highlight reel, and honestly, it shouldn't have to. So if you're a maker and you're in that empty room right now, no comments, no shares, a number that won't move, and a brain that's already decided what that means about you, I want you to hear this. The silence isn't a verdict, it's just silence. It has no opinion of you at all. Your work is not you, make the bad sketch, let it be bad. Let it be tuition for the 1 in 10 that isn't. I've made more than 800 paintings and I still have to remind myself of that every single day. Maybe that's not a flaw in the process, maybe that's just the process. Keep making, I'll see you in the next one.